Hi there, I am the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston, the north west of England. And I'm offering this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, for the soul. It is titled The Hidden Wholeness in Life's Incompleteness. And I'm going to begin with a bit of Mary Oliver and her wonderful poem, Breakage. I go down to the edge of the sea, how everything shines in the morning light. The cusp of the whelk, the broken cupboard of the clam, the opened blue mussels, moon snails, pale pink and barnacles scarred, and nothing at all whole or shut, but tattered, split, dropped by the gulls onto the grey rocks, and all the moisture gone. It's like a schoolhouse of little words, thousands of words. First, you figure out what each one means by itself: the jingle, the periwinkle, the scallop full of moonlight. Then you begin slowly to read the whole story. Now, as anybody who knows me will know, I love Mary Oliver. I love the way that she looked at life, what she saw and what she shared of what she observed. And this poem is a great example of how she saw things and what she saw in the things that she saw, if you like. It's almost like the seashells on the seashore, isn't it? It's almost as difficult to say that. Now, on the surface, this poem appears to be about nothing more than broken shells scattered along the edge of the sea. And on one level, that's what it's about. That said, I think it's actually about so much more than those broken shells. It's about life. It speaks to me about my life and the lives of most of the people in my life, those who share who they are with me. Lives like mine that sometimes feel incomplete, only half formed and fractured all over the place, broken shells scattered on the seashore, seashells on the seashore. You know the one, don't you? I'm not going to try and say it. Maybe this is where life's lessons are, in these broken pieces scattered, in their incompleteness. As Mary suggests, if you attend to each shard, you might be able to figure out what each one means by itself. You will begin slowly to read the whole story. In so doing, you might begin to experience a kind of wholeness, completeness. Yes, you might still seem cracked on the outside, but you will begin to approach an inner wholeness. Now, recently, and maybe some people know this, for the last few months at least, I've been seeing a psychologist on a professional basis. I felt I needed some extra help following the aftermath of a dear friend's death, something I witnessed. And it's helped me immensely. Thank you for those that have supported me in this time as I've explored some difficult things. I feel it's coming to an end and has helped me piece together some of the shattered shells of recent times and my whole life, in actual fact. I feel like I am closer to a sense of inner wholeness. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting I'm even close to being some perfect self-actualized human being. No, nothing in life is complete, but I just feel a sense of wholeness in my inner being at this time in my life. Much needed. Will help me move forward, both professionally and personally, of course. Now, there are fractured shells even all around us. Often looking at the world in recent years, it's easy to focus on all that is wrong, all that's not working, as if life was some grim jest. But that's not all life. And even if you just look at the surface of life, which can appear broken, beneath this surface there can still be found a deep love, a sustaining power, a hidden wholeness, even in the darkest, hardest times. There is a goodness in everything. I have come to believe that it is our task to bring this goodness to life. something I feel better equipped to do so right now than I did just a few months ago when I was run down and worn out, wrung out, if you like, by so many things. I felt fractured and scattered all over the seashore. My seashells were scattered all over the seashore. Still can't say it, can I? Now, you may have already noticed I've already mentioned a phrase. I keep repeating a phrase, that phrase being hidden wholeness. Now, this phrase, hidden wholeness, was coined by the Trappist monk and mystic Thomas Merton, who wrote the following: "There is in all visible things an invisible fecundity, a dimmed light, a meek namelessness, a hidden wholeness. This mysterious unity and integrity is wisdom, the mother of all naturans. There is in all things an inexhaustible sweetness and purity, a silence that is a fount of action and joy. It rises up in wordless gentleness and flows out to me from the unseen roots of all created being, welcoming me tenderly, saluting me with indescribable humility. This is at once my own being, my own nature, and the gift of my Creator's thought and art within me, speaking as Hagia Sophia, speaking as my sister wisdom." There is this hidden wholeness in everything, which can sometimes be hard to discover, to believe, to know. When life shatters us into pieces and we feel broken, we can feel we will never believe that things can be put back together again. We can be like Humpty Dumpty. Couldn't put all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. But on the other hand, we can be broken open into something new, a greater capacity to bring healing to our wounded whole. We can share our imperfect love and allow this hidden wholeness to come to light and life through our very cracked, fractured human being. So we can be broken apart or we can be broken open. It can look the same, it can be felt the same, but it may not necessarily become the same. Now, in life, there are many things that separate we human beings. Often these are our beliefs and our disbeliefs, whether these are religious or anti-religious beliefs, whether they be political, social, cultural. We find many ways to separate ourselves. And yet, we're all human, we're all imperfect, we're all incomplete. We all love and we all grieve when we lose those that we love. To quote Eugene Ionesco, ideologies separate us. Dreams and anguish bring us together. We are united by a common humanity, united by our shared hopes and despairs, by our broken shards, our crackedness. We are each of us unique and complete as ourselves, and yet we only truly know ourselves through our relationships with one another and with life. To quote Mark Nepo, "It is a great paradox of being that each of us is born complete, and yet we need contact with life in order to be whole. Somehow we need each other to know that completeness, though we are never finished in that journey." We are living in ever more dividing and divisive times. Look at the world. We do not seem to see ourselves as one people. Nationalism is growing everywhere, actually, and it's dangerous. Not only to ourselves as individuals, but to our shared humanity. By separating ourselves, we will never know wholeness. We will never truly be all that we can be. No one is an island, no nation really. Not really. Not when you look from outer space. It's just one blue ball with a bit of other colour around there. It's just one world. We need to be at one not only with ourselves, but with all of life and whatever it is we believe is at the core of all life. What Merton called the hidden wholeness. To truly become completely ourselves, to touch at perfection. Remembering, of course, perfection originally meant completeness. By the way, it's kind of what salvation means, by the way. To quote good old Forrest Church, what I'm talking about is salvation. The Latin root salve means health. The Teutonic cognates health, hail, whole, and holy all share the same root. Being an agnostic about the afterlife, I look for salvation here, not to be saved from life, but to be saved by life, in life, for life. Such salvation has three dimensions. Integrity or individual wholeness comes when we make peace with ourselves. Reconciliation or shared wholeness comes when we make peace with our neighbours, especially with our loved ones. Redemption, in the largest sense, comes when we make peace with life and with death, with being itself, with God. We know this hidden wholeness, it's no longer hidden really. It's alive and we know it. When we experience this wholeness, we are as close as we will ever be to perfection, to completeness, although only for a moment as our lives continue on. We begin to truly live our lives, and life, of course, is the greatest gift of all, the ultimate grace. So choose life. Blessings and curses, but choose life. Brings to mind these thoughts some words from the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew's Gospel. These words attributed to Jesus. Therefore be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. This is heaven on earth. This is the kingdom of love right here, right now. This is the purpose of the spiritual life. This is the religion of love, of true communal spirituality. This is what it means to live in perfect love. For perfection is not flawlessness as we often think it is. It's quite the opposite. Perfect love is sincere love. It's about showing our cracks, our flaws, our scars, showing who we truly are. The Latin root of perfection is perfectus, which actually meant completeness. Perfection is not what we think it is. Perfection is completeness or wholeness. Health in mind and body and spirit. Wholeness with self, with others, with life, with God. I think this is what Merton meant by his hidden wholeness. Well, we no longer need to keep it hidden. Let's shine our lamps bright, not hide them under a bushel or whatever the phrase is. And that's the purpose of true spiritual community, free spiritual community. This is the purpose of I believe, my free religious faith, to bring this hidden, this inner wholeness to life through our imperfect, shattered, fractured human lives. We're never truly whole, complete, unless we are at one with ourselves, with one another, with life, and with whatever it is that we believe is the power that permeates life, the core of life. We do this by bringing this hidden wholeness to life. We can never truly become ourselves alone. This is why true community is so vital to the spiritual life. We need right relationships to become truly wholly who we are. To me, this is the purpose of what the communities I serve, their primary purpose, really. Yes, it's about becoming who we truly are, but you can't do it in isolation. It's not possible. This is the purpose of free religion. It allows the birth of the true spirit in each of us. But no one can completely give birth to themselves, by themselves, of themselves, not in isolation. To repeat those words of Mark Nepo, it is a great paradox of being that each of us is born complete, and yet we need contact with life in order to be whole. Somehow we need each other to know that completeness, though we are never finished in that journey. And if we do, we might just bring this inner wholeness to life in our imperfect completeness. I mean, our perfect incompleteness, who knows? So that's enough for me for this little reflection. I'm going to end with some words of blessing. We need to bless more. We can all bless, Be blessed by giving ourselves wholeheartedly to life. So let's return to life, but let's do so in peace. In peace, embraced by the light and the warmth of this time shared. Let's go in love, ready again to struggle on. Let's go in beauty, shining forth like a lamp to freedom. And may the infinite light shine in, through and out from all of us. And may it do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, in all that we do. Go in love and peace.